Welcome back to Primetime Local News. In studio with us is Kevin Wagner of the Lakeland Rustlers soccer and futsal programs. And Kevin, it's been a busy summer for you guys, partly because of some fairly significant changes, including a new head coach for the women's side.
Yeah, it's been positive changes with Rustlers athletics, and one of those changes is splitting responsibilities and having a male team's program coach, and then our female team has their own coach as well now.
Yeah, and so Leif Matlick, the new head coach for the women's program, just really quickly, kind of what was the background to get him involved as the head coach, and what we can expect from him?
We had developed our programming to a point where, to keep engaging athletes with a better athlete experience, thought only fair that, from a program's perspective, that we start to have two people focus in on two different programs, and it wasn't, we weren't having as many successes as I think we wanted to have from a student athlete perspective with having myself just look over both programs. So we're looking for a coach. We think we have found a great guy to work with and start his program with the women's soccer and futsal programming with Lakeland.
So in addition to what that will allow for the women's program in terms of growth, recruiting of athletes, and just focusing on tactics, all those things, what does that allow you to do, not only as a coach, but also your other duties at Lakeland?
Yeah, I mean, my responsibilities besides coaching remain the same, which is coordinator of athletic operations, and so I can still look after those responsibilities. But then secondarily, it allows us to run a better program on the soccer side of it within the men's side, and on the women's side, to be fair. For example, we've never had the time or ability to see the men's soccer team before the men's soccer play, to speak and review the game with the women's team after the women's team plays, because I would go from one to the other. Video analysis, we haven't had the opportunity to do because the time restraints within the two programs just didn't make it feasible. We can have different on-field programming now that we're going to add to both programs that we weren't able to do before.
And I will probably save both of you a little bit of time recruiting, because now you don't have to go and recruit everyone. You can focus a little more selectively on the guys, and Leif can obviously focus selectively on the girls. Yeah,
I think all those pieces that coaches do that nobody sees is what can be done better. Yeah. And I think that's the reality of having now two head coaches with two separate programs. It allows myself to have more time to recruit just for the one team. Many events you can't go to anymore and see male and female soccer players at the same event. Sometimes they're at different cities, so you're splitting time. It made it where it wasn't feasible to have to run it as well as we wanted to anyway, for the two programs.
And will you still be coordinating a little bit between the two of you in terms of doing some practices together or some work together, or are you kind of isolate yourselves a little bit now?
No, I think what is best is for a coach to be able to come in and not feel that there has been someone that's been there for almost 10 years that's looking over your shoulder. So it's Leif, it's his program, and he's going to be kicking it off tomorrow, and up to him to sort. If he wants help, if he's looking, any of those things, no, we're there to provide support for each other. And that's how, within any of our sports. But I don't want the optics to be that for any returning players or for Leif himself that it's not his show and his program to run the way he feels fit.
And thus a new era of Lakeland Rustlers soccer starts with two head coaches at the helm.